All right, this is the intro to episode 3 of the podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Phil.
And this episode, we start off by talking about some news items.
Yeah, and then we go into, I guess, our main topic is we talk about HD and other kind of remakes that the companies seem to be putting out.
And then we touch on some of the games that we're playing again.
Yeah, there is a spoiler. I should let you know. I do a Tim the Toolman Taylor impression. I would say it's spot on.
Yeah.
But there is a spoiler for Walking Dead Season 1. So if you
the
hear...
finale of
if you
season
hear...
1.
Then I would skip ahead maybe 2 minutes. Maybe 3 to be safe. I don't know. Skip ahead and then...
And then slowly back it up until you accidentally hear the spoiler.
Yeah. Skip ahead, and then if you don't want it spoiled, but it is an old game, so hopefully you guys have played it by now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode.
All right, guys. Thanks. Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the This Isn't Funny Anymore podcast. We continue to shatter expectations by doing more than one episode.
No one thought that this would last.
Me especially.
Yeah.
Like, my little goal, my short-term goal was to do at least 3 episodes.
My goal was to at least make me think that buying the mics were worth it.
Well, that's not going to happen. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen soon. But, I mean, if we hit, 15 episodes, then I'll kind of forget. And I'll just be like, oh, that's perfect.
Okay.
It's 15 episodes.
15 is the goal now?
15, well, I'm saying 15 would make me say that the mics were worth it.
Okay.
That's not. I'd like the podcast to go longer than 15
Of course.
episodes.
No, it's always good to have goals.
Yeah.
Now that we've broken my 3-episode goal, I got to set a new goal.
If we stop at 3, though, if this is the last one we ever do.
Yeah, no.
Would that still meet your goal?
No, because we've now set the new goal of 15.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Well, all right. Hey, everyone.
Are you just going to keep introing it?
No,
did you not like that intro? At least the beginning was fine. I mean, we could use the beginning.
Intro.
I can always edit it down.
No, don't edit it down. It's fine.
It's always great when people edit that out. Anytime somebody says edit that out, it's always then in the episode.
You have to.
Right.
Because
by law.
Yeah. Hey, edit this out.
Okay.
And then you say something completely embarrassing.
Right.
And they're like, no, we want that in our podcast.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
All right, well, let's talk about some news really quickly before we get into what we promised at the end of last episode, which is HD remakes.
Yeah, we don't want all those followers holding us to our promise.
Hi, Caitlin. So a couple things that happened in the news. So Amazon bought Twitch.
I saw that. That was what was it, 1 billion? I think it's close to 1 billion. It's 900 million or something stupid like that.
970 million.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not too concerned. I don't have any, strong feelings on this. Like, when Facebook bought Oculus and everyone got their panties in a bunch.
Right.
I also had my panties which I wear, in a bunch, because I'm just Facebook doesn't make sense for gaming for me.
Right.
So I couldn't mentally connect the dots. Amazon buying Twitch... I'm I don't see what they're going to do with it.
Well, a couple things. First of all, it almost came out of nowhere for most people because for a while they were saying that they were going to sell it to Google. Google was in main talks. Microsoft had been thrown around too, but Google looked like was going to actually do it, and they were going to do it for $1 billion even. But I guess the reason they didn't, which they came out with afterwards, they said that it was because they had antitrust issues, because they already owned YouTube, because they own other services that record and distribute video and all that stuff. If Google was to buy it, they might get into some legal trouble. So that's why Amazon bought it. Also, Amazon has been buying up every company they can the last couple of years. They've been trying to get into cell phones. They got, Fire TV. They have tablets. They have all this stuff. They bought Double Helix last year, or earlier this year actually, which is the company that did the Killer Instinct for Xbox One. So then they had to have somebody else do season 2. So they want to get into game development.
But I wonder if Twitch if they want to get into game development, I wonder if Twitch is the right way to go, because
they're not going to use that to get into game development. I'm just saying they're trying to get
a stepping stone.
Amazon is the fastest growing everything right now. They're trying to get into every aspect. They're trying to be another major conglomerate. They're buying up companies left and right. They're trying to be another superpower, basically.
Okay.
So that's why they're doing it. We should look out for Amazon because they really have been doing some crazy things, and like the whole thing with like the drones.
Yeah.
And like just everything. They've been trying to take over the world for a couple years now. I just see like getting close.
I just see like Amazon has always been a giant conglomerate in my mind. Like I understand like now they're actually making purchases as opposed to just being the worldwide seller of everything.
Right.
But like when I thought of them in the past, I was just like, oh, it's Amazon. It's like a big
they were the top of their field. You know, they were big for what they were, but now they're trying to be big in everything else too.
Yeah. I guess my question, and I will say that I haven't done the research that you might have had for this.
No, I honestly haven't.
Okay, good. This good thing we're talking about then. But I was gonna say I wonder what, if any, Amazon is gonna get like.
Well, they say they released a statement saying we're not changing anything. It's going to be exactly the way it was.
Okay.
So they just want to own it. They understand that it's a big growing market.
Yeah.
And they want to be a part of it.
Okay.
So if they don't change anything, I have no problems with them owning it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, like this one, it doesn't change, I guess, the way I think about anything.
No, and we're probably talking about this too long.
Okay.
Now let's talk about. So Microsoft just announced too that you can now buy a standalone Kinect. If you don't want to buy the bundle with the Xbox One, that's what I should preface it by saying the Xbox One Kinect. Available October 7th, you can buy Kinect only for $150. So that's $50 more than if you were to get it in the bundle. If you want the Xbox One with Kinect is $100 more than without. So $50 more, but you also get downloadable Dance Central Spotlight comes with it for free.
So initially when you told me about this, and you didn't mention price right away, I was like, oh, okay, this is expected. Like,
well, it's expected anyways.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you cut the Kinect out, but you still want it to be a main feature, and you still want developers to essentially work with it, you know, because it's your baby. So I mean, it just seemed like, oh, this is expected. The $150, I understand why they did it, and I also think it's dumb because...
Right. No, we both agree that it's not going to work, but that's what they had to do. They couldn't sell it for $100 because then nobody's going to buy the bundle because they're going to feel cheated, and they can be like, well, I'll just buy the Kinect later.
Yes.
Second of all, like, obviously when you bundle things together, you're supposed to get it for cheaper, and like you can sell things for a lower price if there's more together. So, I mean, the $150 price point
Did the original
sense.
bundle come with a game?
No.
Okay.
But it's a $10 game.
No, I know this one is, but I'm saying, like, did the original bundle come with whatever, like Forza or Killer Instinct?
The original bundle did not, but there are bundles that do exist.
That come. Okay,
right.
So I was gonna say, like, you could still make the Kinect $100, but when you bought the bundle, initially you got Xbox Kinect and a game, and now you just be paying the same amount of money. You just wouldn't be getting a game. Like, I could see that kind of sitch.
And they've all the newer bundles are Kinectless, but with games.
Yeah.
So like the Call of Duty bundle and stuff doesn't come with Kinect, but it comes with the game.
Yeah, I mean, like,
actually, you know what? It might. That one might. I know the Sunset Overdrive white one does not come with a Kinect.
I was gonna say, like, I guess I feel like they had. Obviously, we knew this was coming, but I feel like they really had to do this to appease all the developers that essentially, when they got told that the Kinect was being scrapped out of the initial bundle, that were kind of just like, well, now we have no incentive. So while this doesn't give them an incentive, because it's still not an established in every household like they were promised initially, at least now it's just like, if you make a game that's good enough,
to buy it.
People can still buy the Kinect to play your game.
But my thing is, one, it seemed like Harmonix was the only company that actually was developing games for Kinect right now. For the most part, like larger games, there's like, I guess, Raven Rabbit's TV sort of thing has just got announced also.
Okay.
But it's like, Harmonix was the only one making successful games, big budget games, on the Kinect. And because that's being bundled with the $150 option, it's like that kind of goes away anyways. All their incentives gone.
Yeah.
I mean, more people are going to play their game, which is good. But
yeah, no, I think as we know it, the Kinect is slowly going the way of the PlayStation Move, which was like promising at first, and then PlayStation just kind of they started working like, oh, now you can use it with Killzone, and you can kind of hold a gun with it.
But you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to. You want to use a controller, and now all of a sudden PlayStation's kind of moved on to virtual reality.
But see,
that's kind of their new thing.
That's the thing. It's kind of a double-edged sword because the Kinect is certainly better technology, I think, than the Move was.
Oh yeah,
but
I agree.
None of the developers are supporting it. Microsoft did as much as they could. They really tried to push it, and it wasn't working, so they kind of had to cut it as far as getting rid of the bundle and stuff. But if the developers aren't going to make games, it doesn't really matter. Like,
True.
You need the games to be there. If the thing is, developers don't want to, because it's not successful enough. Developers don't want to make a game because it's too much of a risk. But without successful games, it's never going to get supported. And
I will say, I think you said Microsoft did all it could. I think Microsoft could have done a little bit more by making a first-party, Kinect-centric game. Like, I think that Kinect Adventures was Microsoft, but that was really your tech demo.
Right.
That was like, look, everything you could do.
I mean,
and that came with when you bought the Kinect. But then Microsoft kind of just pushed it off, and like Rare did its thing and stuff like that.
Microsoft owns Rare.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I want like a Halo,
right?
First party, like, this is only
right, which it seemed like Rise originally was supposed to be that.
Yeah, and then Rise gets pushed back, and then moves to Xbox One, and then it's no Kinect at all.
Yeah.
So if they could have made, like, they're the ones that know the technology. If they could have been like, look what we can do, guys, and came out with that one killer thing, then I think you can get developers to hop on. But really, you showed them, like, the most promising things with Kinect is obviously you have Dance Central, which turned into its own franchise.
And we both like the Kinect Sports franchise.
Yeah, and
some
Kinect
people
Sports.
don't, but I mean we do. And certainly the fitness apps and stuff work well for that.
Yeah, but that's like your niche is you're just like, okay, you have the Kinect Sports, which are really just minigame tech demos. Like if you just boil it down to, and the fitness app is just like, hey, you can do these without a Kinect. You can do push-ups.
Well, certainly, yeah.
Without a Kinect. You can run in place. This is just kind of like a guide. It's no different than watching, a VHS tape of 90-minute ads.
Well, yeah, I mean, on the Xbox One, it's a little bit more involved than that, but yeah, I know what you're saying. And yeah, I totally agree with you. The one thing that Microsoft should have done was come out with their own game themselves.
Yeah, just to say, like, look at how crazy this can be. And if Rise would have came out, and it would have been Kinect, and it would have came out for 360, and it would have looked as amazing as it did, and still been, like, super Kinect-y, then people could have been like, shit, yeah, we need to get behind this. But I think that, like, when all you see is, like, big league sports and, Mel B's Fitness Extreme from the Spice Girls, you're just like, I don't really know if we should invest the time.
I will say, though, just using the Kinect on the Xbox One as a voice command thing, I think is a lot of fun. I think it works really well. Some people say they have problems with it, but I have never had any problems with it, even when I have, like, fans running in the room or air conditions and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the issue mainly with that is, like, dialect and stuff like that. Obviously, us being white American dialect.
Well, yeah, no, my point was that I just think it's worth it just to use it for that. Like, I would have bought the Kinect version of the bundle just to have the voice operated stuff. Like, it's fun to be able to switch with voice all the time. Like, it's fun. Like, I put my TV through it, so especially with my girlfriend and stuff, it's easy for her to use voice commands. Like, you can change the channels that way. You can switch between apps, especially if you're watching a lot of media on there, which I do. You don't want to always have the controller connected. Like, you don't want to kill your controller batteries and always have to pick it up. So it's easy to just say things. And while you're playing a game, the best thing to do is just say Xbox record that, and it records game video of what you just did, which is a lot of fun. You can't do that if you're not using.
No. I mean, it has its purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is just, like, obviously, like you said, the developers aren't developing for it. It's just slowly going to die. Because all it now is it's an operating system.
Yeah, my point is, I think it still is fine as just an extension of the UI.
But it's not $150 fine.
No.
If you bought an Xbox One without it, and you were just like, you need to get it so you can yell HBO Go, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, can I get it for $10? Because it's like a remote control.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Okay, agreed. That's it for news now. Let's see if you have anything to talk about.
I have no news.
Okay, cool.
I have no news.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how we're going to tackle this topic. We always pretend like we're going to be more organized, but
I think we're doing a good job.
Okay, we'll cut that out then.
No, leave that in. Don't cut that.
We're gonna keep in all the cut that outs.
Yeah, no, we can make a super cut of all the
cut that out.
Yeah, that'll be our YouTube.
Cut it out.
Nice. For what?
Do you know what that is though?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It's from Full House, the cut it out.
Yeah, you gotta do this.
to go with our theme
this episode is called Full House.
I'm doing visual hand gestures for the viewers at home there, which is always great on a podcast.
Viewers at home.
Because they're watching this, right? On their TV, but they can't see anything. And they're just confused.
They're watching the media bar. They're watching the media bar move every second.
Like we were when we were testing the audio.
Yeah, it's good. So anyway, we talked about... I'm just going to cut you off.
That's fine. You should.
What we talked about last week.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about remakes.
Yeah,
HD remakes.
Like re-releases on either newer consoles or just graphically upgraded. So just a few off the top of my head is, Tomb Raider did it right when the new consoles came out.
Yep.
Last of Us is currently doing it.
Yep.
Metro Redux just came out.
Yeah,
last week.
I remember. Yeah.
And then the Master Chief Collection is another big one. And I just wanted to talk about the pros and cons. I know you're not 100% for this.
See, okay, so I was thinking about this while I was driving over.
And that's like the range. Like I kind of picked one from all along the spectrum of basically just re-release exactly the same game to a lot more content.
I'm thinking of I have a couple more that are older, and
okay.
and I will say like Monkey Island 1 and 2 came out in arcade, and they just kind of upped the ante for that. And then going even further back is like on PlayStation, you came out with Final Fantasy Origins, which was 1 and 2 for the normal Nintendo, and they re-upped the graphics and put in some cutscenes.
Yeah.
And did that. So, and those two came to my mind because when I was thinking about this, initially I'm super against it.
Right.
And I'll be brief so we can have it back and forth, and I'm not just hogging the mic. I mean, obviously we'll go back and forth. That's the point. But like Tomb Raider, here's the thing. Tomb Raider came out on the 360, PS3, and the PC.
Yeah.
Anyone who wanted to play that game that owned any of those systems already bought it, played it, and so they're like, oh, well, now that the new system's coming out, we're going to create the whole definitive collection, which included DLC, maybe.
It included DLC, and they did improve the graphics.
Yeah, and they upped the graphics.
Yeah.
But so
which was basically the PC graphics, I think.
Yeah, PC graphics.
Yeah.
But what it is, so then it comes out Xbox One, it comes out PS4. Chances are, and I might be ballparking this, but I'm going to say that all the Xbox One owners and PS4 owners are people who owned last generation consoles.
Yeah.
I'm going to say there's a very low number of people who are just jumping on this new game system that weren't on old game systems.
Yeah.
So I'm saying is all those people already played that game. This is clearly like a pointless, like, we're going to update because it's going to look beautiful. I understand that. But if you're not doing anything different, if you're just upping the graphics and it was released so short, like, time frame ago, like a year and a half, 2 years ago was the original.
Yeah.
That, to me, that seems like a really crappy way to... Because really, like, the work intensive is... A smaller team can now tackle the game, just do updated res, include DLC.
The more I think about it, the less that I'm against it, though. Because what's your problem with it being available on a newer console if you want to play it, and with updated graphics? It's not like they're forcing anybody to buy these things. That's the thing. People get like really upset on the internet about stuff because they feel like it's like nobody's forced. First of all, everybody feels like they're entitled to free stuff all the time, and they think that just because somebody makes something, if you don't like it, then you have to be angry at them because
that's how the internet works.
But they're not forcing you to buy it.
No, I understand if they're not.
So if you already bought it on the 360, it's not like you have to buy it again. It's not like you can't play your other game if you don't buy it.
But here's, I guess, my question is why would because they still have to waste money and resources to do it. To me, it seems like you could be doing something better.
But they wouldn't do it if it wasn't financially viable. Like, they wouldn't do it if there wasn't some sort of statistics that show that it's going to make some money. Because that's the thing. Obviously,
everything's a business.
The money,
you gotta make money.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm okay with that too. People always say, "Oh, it's just a cash grab, all that stuff." They're trying to get more money out of a game, but I mean, it's a business, and that's fine as long as they're not doing anything bad. Like I said, they're giving us more content. Just because they didn't have to start from scratch doesn't mean I shouldn't have to pay $60 for a game.
No, and like I said, like I think to me this issue gets complicated because if I go to another game that and I'll keep it in the realm of release 2 years ago, like Last of Us, going to PS4.
Right.
The reason I'm okay with this one, and this is why things I guess get cloudy for me in judgment wise, is that because Last of Us only came out for PS3 exclusive.
Right.
And this one's only coming out for PS4 exclusive. But I will say that some 360 users, when they switched, maybe because they felt slighted by Microsoft, maybe because they wanted to try something new, whatever reason, may have jumped from 360 to the PS4.
Yeah.
And so since it's not backwards compatible, they're like, I heard super great things about Last of Us. So instead of buying a PS3 just to play one game, they're like, oh, I already bought a PS4. Now I can experience an old game that everyone says is great, PS4.
Okay.
Obviously, your people who are going from PS3 to PS4, probably, again, it falls into the Tomb Raider, like, you've already played this, there's no need for you to buy it. But to me, like, since it's
an exclusive, so you think exclusives are okay? They're excluded from the remakes. Like you're allowed to do
if it's a console away, if it's a generation away. If you were to make Rise, right, and then 2 years later on Xbox One,
they haven't done that though.
No,
That's
no. But I'm saying like, I'm saying exclusives for some reason to me
makes it better.
Get a pass, because if people switch consoles in their generation, then for people who can't afford buying a PS3 and an Xbox 360, and you only get one new console, and let's say you switch to the PS4, now it's a chance for you to go back and experience this game. If they made the PS4 backwards compatible, then I'd be opposed to this issue. Or opposed to this game.
Opposed to them remaking the game?
Yeah, because I'd just be like, you have a PS4, just buy a game that came out 2 years ago that still looks great.
Okay. So how about something farther down the spectrum like Metro? Have you played any of the Metro games? Metro 2033?
I want to.
Me too. And that's another point that I thought of. It's why they do this is it gives people opportunities to play games they haven't played before.
But Metro's older.
Yes.
Metro.
That's what I'm saying. But that's still like a theory behind an HD remake. Why would they do it? Not to just get extra money out of people, but to get new audiences on it. Like
You want people who maybe were a little wary of the game when it came out, or they didn't know about it.
That's the thing. If you're a younger kid and now you can play and mature games.
Yeah, and see, like, and that's the thing. Like I'm saying, like to me, it's like a case by case basis on whether or not I like it or not. Metro, I like because initially Metro was an unheard of game of.
Right.
And eventually, like, people were like, no, you got to play this game. It's super great. It has its issues, but whatever. You should enjoy it. So, like, going the whole cycle, just like, oh, I heard this game was great, and now they're updating it. It's fine. And I go back to, like, Monkey Island and Final Fantasy. Monkey Island 1 and 2 came out for the PC a real long time ago. And then they can do this remake where you're just like, here's a game that's really from, early 90s.
Yeah.
And now it's 2000, I think came out in 10, I'll just say. It's probably off, but it's
okay. You got people shouting at their computers right now.
I don't think Caitlin's shouting at her computer.
She probably spelled something.
Yeah, she probably. But, like, so to me, like, that's, like, this is a huge jump. I'm okay with them doing that. And the same with, like, the Final Fantasies being on normal Nintendo and then coming out for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because Final Fantasy was ready and established. It's coming out every other year, and it's an iteration. So people who are like, oh, I played 7, I loved 7, and I played 8, and I loved 8, I kind of want to know, like, what happened before then. Obviously, the stories don't connect, but whatever. There's some people who are just like, now I want to start over. And now having that release where you're just like, oh, I can play 1 and 2, and I don't have to go dig out an NES and buy a cartridge. Like, those, like, jumping multiple cycles...
Yeah, like
makes more sense to me.
Like Abe's Odyssey that they remade.
Yeah, that was an
Another
old
World,
game.
I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah.
So if they just release sort of arcade versions of super old games, you're fine with that too.
Oh, I'm 100%
but like,
okay
what I
with
like
that.
about Metro is that, like I said, I've never played it. That was a game I was interested in playing, but I never played it. So this gives me a chance. Like, I'm probably going to end up buying this game because it's got both 2033 and Last Light. And I heard that they used some aspects from Last Light, some improvements they made in the game, and put that back into 2033. A lot of things with like the menus and stuff were bad. They fixed that. You can like wipe your face mask now because it used to get foggy and get blood on it, and you just couldn't see. Then you have to slowly wait for it to go away. But now you can like wipe it. Just small things like that. Just mechanics and stuff. Plus the updated graphics. Plus the fact that it's 2 games in one. Like, you're getting a lot of content. It's like $50 for both games together, or $25 a piece.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I think, like you said, like, I think Metro's a good example of it being done
the right way.
The right way, where you're just like, not a lot of people heard about this game, but it was still a good game, and now here we're going to release 2 games in one kind of situation.
Right.
So people can play it. Tomb Raider, I'm not in favor of, because I feel like, again, it was just too recent for you to do a remake. Like, if you were all of a sudden just be like, hey, a game needs a remake, Rise.
Right, but it was another thing too. Is like right when consoles were coming out, it just basically was like another game you could buy at launch because the launch were not that strong this time around.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, it's just another game you can buy. You can play it. Like, I have the Tomb Raider for the 360, but I actually never played it.
Okay.
So
are you going to buy the update?
No, I'm not going to buy the Xbox One version only because I bought the other one and haven't played it. If I shouldn't have bought it because I wasn't ready to play it yet. And then I definitely would have bought the Xbox One version.
Okay.
Because I'd much rather have played it. I'd much rather
super
play it on
sweet
a newer,
graphics.
And just a newer console and stuff like that. Like, the more games I can play on the one, the better for right now. Then let's talk about another thing, because when I first brought it up to you, you were kind of upset about the Master Chief Collection. Because you're saying you're basically paying $60 for the Halo 5 beta. Do you still feel that way?
Yes. You showed me the cutscenes.
Okay, that's another thing, too. So, with Halo, the Master Chief Collection, you're getting so much content, okay?
Yeah, you're getting games that everyone's played before 100 times.
Yeah, but what do you... But, I mean, that's the same thing, though. It's I mean, 2 generations away. Both Halo 1 and Halo 2 haven't been released. I mean, you could say the Anniversary Edition came out for the 360 not that long ago. Yep. But you're getting both versions. So you get the original version and the Anniversary Edition of Halo 1. You're getting brand new content in Halo 2 with completely updated cinematics. Blur Studios, who did the CG cutscenes for Halo Wars, did over an hour of cinematic cutscenes for Halo 2. But,
no,
I mean, you saw it. It looks awesome, right?
It does look awesome, but I think that's like, okay, and this is...
I have a lot more to say about this, because can I just finish more what's in the package?
Go ahead.
So you get Halo 2 original version and the Anniversary Edition, which is new graphics and stuff. You can switch between the two of them with the back button, which you could with Halo 1 Anniversary 2.
And Monkey Island.
Right. And you get Halo 3 and you get Halo 4. So, obviously, Halo 3 and 4 on their own probably aren't worth the price, but with all that other stuff, plus you get every multiplayer map that was ever released for any of those games, and you get to play in the original engines. So that's over 100 maps, plus like PC maps, all this other stuff. And all of the games are running in 1080p, 60 frames per second, which none of those games have been released like that. Huh. So even Halo 4 is going to look way better than it did on the Xbox 360. Plus, you're getting, the beta to Halo 5, and you're getting Halo Nightfall, the digital series that's coming out. So, I mean, I don't know what there is to really... And you're getting 6 maps, Halo 2 maps, remade in a brand new engine. So, I mean, how could you say that something like The Last of Us is worth $60, but something like Halo 2 Anniversary on its own is not?
I would have been... Okay. So this will not be... Me and you will not agree on this.
Which is good. I wanted us to be on the opposite sides.
If they would have just done like they did for 1, if they would have just done like a Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, and they would have done like updated graphics, updated maps, blah 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 blah. I feel like I actually, oddly enough, would have been somehow more okay with it. I know that doesn't make sense. Because they added
so much more content, you're against it?
But because 1, 3, and 4, because 1 with the Anniversary Edition, all came out last cycle.
Came out 3 years ago? Yeah.
To me, it's just like, and again, this is a strange belief I have. I don't have any backing for this.
Okay. Well, you're allowed to have your own opinions, obviously.
I think that, and this is me, I'm saying, this goes back to the people jumping consoles. So I would say people who owned a 360 either went to the 1 or went to a PS4, right? Yeah. I'm going to say people who owned a PS3 probably just went to a PS4. I don't know.
That's huge assumptions, though.
That's a huge assumption, but I'm saying, like,
so you can't say it's okay for Last of Us to be remade, but not a Halo game?
Because I mean, like, personally, I'm not a big Microsoft fan anymore because of I will still hold a grudge forever at all of their screwed up PR nightmares that they had for E3 when they were announcing everything. And whatever. And obviously, like, we can argue about this till the cows come home. And we don't need to.
Probably should, because the cows need to come back.
The cows need to come home. And I understand you're getting a lot for $60. But I'm saying that the majority of people are buying this for the Halo 5 beta for $60.
But you don't know that.
No, I can't back that up. I'm saying if you're buying this, you're a huge Halo fan, obvious for the most part. So that means you've played 4, 3. Maybe you haven't played 2 or 1 because they were on last or Xbox originally. Yeah. You might have played the Anniversary Edition, maybe. But I'm saying for people who are playing this, you are probably going to play multiplayer, and you're probably going to play 2 because that's the one they spend all the time redoing. Can you really say that you're going to be like, I can't wait to play 4 over again?
No, well,
I can't wait to play 3 over again.
You know how I feel about
Well, even if you did,
I certainly want to play multiplayer for Halo 3 because that was a lot of fun, and I haven't done that.
But
in a long
isn't there
time.
just one general multiplayer?
No,
you have to go into each one.
There's 4 games. Yeah, they all have their original multiplayer.
That makes me even. I think that's a bad decision.
Why?
I think they should have just made one general multiplayer, and you have all the maps for everything, and then you just join in.
But in what engine would you use then?
Well, you just use your freaking most updated 4 engine or whatever it is. And you could just have like little, I guess like, you could be like, I want to use the weapons from, and you just select like when you're searching for a match, use weapons from 3. And then maps are just set at random, and you can use any map for anything or whatever, and you just have different spawn points for the weapons. I think it's stupid for you to have if you want to play multiplayer in 1, I think it's stupid you have to boot up 1 and go to multiplayer, and you can't just go
that's my thing too. It's all the UI is all together. All the games are intertwined. Like you could go from playing a Halo 1 game, then the next map that loads is a Halo 2 map. Like it's all integrated. All the UI is all together. You don't have to like go and load another game. You don't have to go into different menus. Everything is together. And the thing is, I think why you don't like this, why we're losing you, is because I'm just saying, like, is because you don't like competitive multiplayer. You haven't played these games, and you don't know how different they are.
I have played all of the Halos.
Well, no, you didn't play like a bunch of Halo 2 on Xbox Live when it came out, did you?
No.
No, and you didn't really play Halo 3 online either.
I played Halo 3 online enough to know.
But I mean, the weapons are different, the control scheme's different, the glitches are different. Like all the glitches from like Halo 2 especially are still in there, which people are excited about. I know because you didn't play, like you don't know. That's what people liked about the game. That's what they're excited for.
And we can continue debating this, but I will say that I think we're both too biased on the opposite ends of the spectrum. I think I'm too anti Microsoft to see the good in this, and I think you're too pro Halo to see any bad in this.
I feel like
am I no,
wrong? I mean we're on opposite sides, and that's good, and that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, but I think like you swallow up anything Halo.
Okay, I will say I don't always like it though, and I'm critical of that stuff. I don't just love it blindly and loyally. I mean, if like it's Malibu Stacy with the new hat, if they came out with another Halo that was the same thing but a different color, like armor, I probably would buy it. So I'll say that yes, I know. Yeah, I've said it before. I like Halo. I like playing all the games. I've played all of them.
Multiple times.
When they first came out, like I'm saying, like since they've come out, since 2001, I have consistently played Halo.
Yeah.
So I still don't understand though your argument. You can't change your argument then from one game to the other just because you don't like Microsoft anymore.
No, but I'm saying like it to me. I said for some reason it would make more sense if they just did an anniversary edition for 2. If they did an anniversary edition for 2, like they did for 1, and they just made it like whatever, $50, $40, something like that.
They did everything they did for the anniversary edition for 1. They did that plus a bunch more.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I make sense. I'm just saying like the to me the Master Chief Collection.
But that's another thing too.
Is $60 for a beta and for updated 2. I'm saying like there's.
But you said $60 for updated 2 it was fine.
Then for a reduced price. Whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why could more content be bad ever?
For the price, it's fine. It's a good deal. I'm not saying
like
it's not a bad deal. You're getting 4 games for $60, which is a fantastic deal. I'm not arguing that.
Well, that's what we talked about, like Tomb Raider and like even Last of Us. You're not getting more stuff.
No, but what I'm saying is just like I think that them grouping 4 and 3, which are games I just don't think people are going to be excited to play in there. I understand they're just doing
extra.
it. It's just
extra. You don't have to play it.
But that's not the point. I mean, like, I don't know how to argue my point.
Here's another thing too. It's for one game. It's 4,000 achievement points. You get each game has a separate 1,000.
I mean, so if they can just release Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, and they can give you another 1,000 achievement points, and you can.
Well, they won't do that. Why would they do that?
Why would they release 4 again?
Because you can play it on the Xbox One now. Like, what about if you bought an Xbox One and you, like I said, you buy one game, now you have all 4 of these games. Now you have 4 more games to play on the Xbox One.
No.
You have what if you have little kids? What if you have kids, like I said, that
I wouldn't have my kids play Halo.
But what if they're like 15 or 16 now and they never played Halo 1 or Halo 2? Or even Halo 3? I mean,
but see, like, okay. I don't think Halo 3 is old enough where you can just be like, oh,
it's all 7 years old, though.
All the people who didn't get to experience. But
it's
I'm saying,
7 years, a lot.
Microsoft gave it out for free with Games for Gold, like 2 or 4 months ago or whatever it is. So if you really wanted to play it, think that everyone who had a 360,
they're basically not even charging you for 3 and 4.
So okay, then
that's what I'm saying. So you're getting. That's what I'm saying. In the package, you're paying $60 basically for the anniversary edition.
Of
plus
2
you're getting
and
a shit ton of stuff for free. So why are you against it, though?
I'm against it because I just...
What if the beta wasn't even there? I think it would sell the same.
It's still going to sell because everyone's going to buy. Everyone loves Halo.
Game for
I know I'm in the minority.
Okay.
But because I don't care about Halo, this does nothing to me. This means, to me, I look at it, and it could be $15 for 4 games, and I'm going to be like, that's stupid. I've already played all these games.
Yeah, but separate it. Then don't think of it as the Halo franchise. Think of it like a Mass Effect or something else, another franchise that has multiple games.
Yeah.
That you would want to play.
And so when the Mass Effect came out with its buy all games in one box set, I was still like,
it was 3 separate games that you could buy together. It wasn't like.
But that's what this was.
No, it's not. They're not different discs. They're not different UIs. They're not the original disc. They've completely redone all this stuff.
Okay.
Like when they sold,
you're getting a little angry.
Well, because you're just not even trying anymore. When they sold Mass Effect, there was 3 different fully formed disc in their original packaging and all that stuff. They just sold it at a cheaper price. It wasn't like Microsoft. It's like, hey, we completely redid Mass Effect and updated the graphics and added all this CG and added all this extra stuff. Added stuff for 5. Added like skulls and terminals and all that other stuff.
Okay. There's nothing you can say that's going to convince me that would make me, if I had an Xbox One, get it.
I'm not saying you should buy it.
But then, like, your argument is just like, it's a great deal. And I agree with you. It's 4 games for $60.
Yeah, I'm saying that I think that they did that right. That's a way to remake a game, and I'm okay with it. Like, that's not remaking Tomb Raider, charging $60 for a game that came out 6 months earlier. This is like, they put a lot of work and effort into it, and it's something that you would want to buy. So I'm saying there's so much content in it, you can't be like, oh, they shouldn't have done this. That's my point.
And again,
you think that they shouldn't have remade this?
No, I think like they should have done what they did with 1 and they remake 2, and which is what they did, and they're releasing that. And I'm saying like if they would have done that, I would have been fine with it. For some reason, bundling it with games 4 and 3, just something in my brain triggers.
Right.
Just I'm not saying it's right.
Okay.
Something in my brain triggers where it's just like I've already played 4 and 3 relatively recently. This seems stupid to me, and I don't care about betas because, those things always change and whatever. So it's like, I'm paying, I'd take 2 at a reduced cost if they were to up it, and they were just like, look at all the stuff we did. We're releasing Anniversary Edition for 2 for $45, whatever, $40, whatever it is, something is. I'd just be like, wow, it's great. They put in a lot of work. You show me the cutscenes. It looks gorgeous. But for 4, 3, and 1, the Anniversary Edition of 1, I'm just like, oh, these already all came out in the 360, and everyone who essentially had a 360 that got an Xbox One has played these games.
So your point is you'll pay $60 for a PS4 remake, but only $45 for an Xbox remake.
I am saying for The Last of Us, and again, I'm not saying these arguments ever make sense.
Okay.
I'm saying for The Last of Us to come out on PS4, since a lot of people, I think, jumped ship from 360 to PlayStation, which is why PlayStation's outselling Microsoft. Can't argue against that right now. I'm saying that it makes sense for them, since it's not backwards compatible, to come and re-release Last of Us, and all those people who jumped ship can now enjoy it.
But that's full price. You're okay with that being full price?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You're crazy.
That's fine.
All right, well, what else do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about what you've been playing recently?
Sure. I can do that. I'm still slowly playing through Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
It's starting to grow on me. It's opening up a little bit more. I still have the same problems with the aspect of, like, I feel like they've really cut down choices. Now it's just good, evil. There's no neutral. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. Nobody ever plays as neutral. But I just like having that little wheel that's where you can just say, like, that's great, Garrus. And then you just walk away and there's no, like, you're a dick or I love kittens. Like, there's no, like, super extremes.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I talked to you a little about this, is just, like, they want you to always, like, be focused running straight ahead and looking at all this beautiful stuff. But because I've played the first two, I'm so trained to go exploring and seeking out, like, find a data pad or find, you know, a character to talk to or an item that I'm like, they're always mentioning, like, oh shit, did you see that, Shepard? And I'm staring at the ground, like, looking in between rocks. And then I look up and I'm just like, nope, missed it. And there's no way to, like, essentially make it re-trigger without reloading the stuff.
Yeah, I do remember that too. They did try to sort of script some events that were happening but not force you to watch. It wasn't a cutscene or it wasn't like, hold this to watch. Yeah, there was a lot of things happening, like skyboxes are off in the distance, where I too, like, after every battle, after everything, I would just go find crates, go find weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, and I would miss out on important stuff.
And when you catch it, like, haphazardly, you're like, wow, that looks really cool. But the problem is, like,
I wonder what's happening while I'm staring at the ground.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, because I'm not always doing it, like, technically I should be playing the game how they want me to, and that's run straight ahead with my head looking up and looking at all the crazy stuff they want to do. But like, I played the first two. I'm so used to if this was my first entry into Mass Effect, it's gonna be completely different because I wouldn't be hardwired to look for all these things. So I'd just be like running battle to battle to battle to battle, and then just being like, oh man, I can't wait to kill some more guys.
Well, that's the other thing too that we talked about before, is that it's changed from an RPG into more of an action shooter.
Yeah.
And so those are those elements of trying to keep pushing you along. You never really have problems getting ammo, which before you really had to sort of pick and choose which guns you use because you would run out of ammo for stuff, and now it's kind of like they just throw ammo at you everywhere.
Yeah, just ammo's I ran out of ammo like once.
And all you have to do is go pick something. Like, there's ammo crates everywhere, grenade crates, and everyone drops, because it's all universal ammo now. Just everybody drops it.
Yeah. So, like, obviously I imagine that I will still enjoy most of the playthrough, but it'll just, like I think we talked about, 2 will always just kind of be the high point.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was for me. I finished 3, and I still think 2 was the best.
Yeah, I mean, because I think 1 ramped up into 2, and I think if you played 1, you appreciate 2 more, because you know all the stuff they did.
Yeah.
But if you played 2 and then you played 3, you're just like, ooh, I kind of missed 2.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just finished the arcade game The Raven, which was essentially 3 parts, and each one you had to pay for.
It was point to click? Or
it's point and click.
Yeah.
I guess my review from last week kind of stays the same, where it's like, if I was to recommend a game, I'm Southern.
Okay.
If I was to recommend a game that was, I guess, more adventure-y, I'd still pick Valiant Hearts over The Raven. Raven was fun, but, you know, I got what I paid for. It was $3.
Yeah.
And then the other game, which I will then spin into you, is me and you started Saints Row 2. You've played it before. This is my first foray.
I played it when it originally came out back in 2008. I don't remember much about it other than it was fun.
Yeah.
It's funny because we're coincidentally playing Grand Theft Auto 4 at the same time. We're just doing multiplayer stuff, and we're then playing through the story of Saints Row 2. And certainly we're playing different parts of the game, but like I've said before, I had a lot more fun just messing around in Saints Row 2.
Oh, immediately.
Especially co-op. Like, we were just messing around.
Yeah, immediately playing them both on different days. I prefer Saints Row 2 just because you know that it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And if you want to drive super fast in a big wheel truck and hit something and then do some cool flips in the air.
And shoot a helicopter.
Beat somebody
with the dildo.
Yeah, like, that's all stuff you can do. And I understand why both exist for the people who want their serious, gritty Rockstar Games open sandbox. And then Saints Row, I think Saints Row kind of got a bad rap around this area, 1 and 2, because they're just like, is this a GTA clone? But it's so fun, like, especially playing with
I thought it's certainly gotten too crazy and wacky since then. But yeah, I mean, the controls alone make it more fun for me. Just the driving, just the walking around, the shooting, all that stuff. Both games came out in 2008, and it seems like they're years apart.
Yeah.
And I'm not against GTA's story. I mean, I'm against some of the storytelling they did, especially at the beginning, the way they get you into missions and how you have to do so much nothingness before you get into the story.
Yeah.
But I just have more fun just because I think the controls are there, just because the gameplay is more fun. I don't have to care. That's the thing. When we were playing through, you were watching the cutscenes. I was not. One, I had already played the game before.
Yeah.
And two, because it really doesn't matter. It has a decent story, and I remember that. I was like, it's got a good story. It's fun. Yeah. But I don't care. I'm just going to walk around and grab homeless people and throw them into their houses. They're little shelters.
And that's the thing, though. That's what makes this one so fun, is just because it doesn't take itself too seriously, that you can, if you think of something crazy to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
We played for 2.5 hours maybe, and we spent like 20 minutes just for you trying to car surf.
Right, and that was the thing too. When we said we were done
and I was
playing,
still having fun with it.
Yeah, when we were saying we were done playing, we still played around for like 20 minutes, like trying to leave the game, but finding fun, stupid things to do, like trying to throw people off buildings and stuff.
Yeah, and GTA 4, when you're done, you're just done, because like, yeah, you can still screw around in GTA 4, and GTA 3 was really the epitome of just like, I just want to screw around kind of game.
Yeah.
But like, I guess like you said, like the driving mechanic and everything that just kind of like weighs it down, where you're just like, compared to Saints Row, it's just like, if I'm going to put in a game to just go shoot people in the balls, it's going to be Saints Row, because I feel like it's obviously more fun. And
they react to it when you shoot them in the balls.
So far, and this is me, and this is just my music taste, the soundtrack to Saints Row 2 is great.
Yeah, I like GTA always gets all this acclaim for their soundtracks because they do buy a lot of licensed music. But yeah, I always like this. I like messing with it. Every time I get in a vehicle in Saints Row, I go to a station that I like and listen to the music.
Yeah, I was dicking around a little bit in it today.
You told me I wasn't allowed to play without you.
I was doing stuff you've already done.
Okay.
To be fair.
But you said that.
No, like not like activity. I didn't even save it. I mean, like all I did was like grab 50 people to get to a shooter.
Yeah.
But I was dicking around today, and for part of it, because I was working at the same time, or quote-unquote working, is I just got in the car, and I turned it to a radio station, and then went back to work, and that just served as my radio.
Nice.
And I was completely fine, because I was just like, I was listening to Generation X, which is their indie rock, or whatever.
Their Q101.
Their Q101. And I didn't listen to all the way through the whole collection. But like 5 songs came on in a row that are all 5 songs I have on my iPod.
Yeah.
And then you switch it to like their 80s mix, and like 3 or 4 songs came on, and I'm just like, I also have all of these 3, 4. So
because it's good songs, and they don't pick like random 80s songs.
So it's just like, I want to listen to Take On Me by Aha. Like, I'm fine with listening to that. And then I want to switch and be able to listen to Paramore or Minus the Bear or stuff where I'm just like, what? This is on the game? Like, I would think it'd be like really crappy, like, and this is like the first one, they really wanted to promote like it's gritty and it's gangster, and so like everything was like really crappy unknown gangster rap.
Yeah.
And this one, since it's more fun, they're just like,
but also they had more money.
Yeah. So I was just like, this is great.
You know, they're supposedly announcing a new game at PAX, Volition is, and people are thinking it's another Saints Row. It might be a remake, it might be 5.
I would be interested. I haven't played 4, and I know you haven't either.
I haven't even played 3. Have you played 3?
No, I haven't played 3.
Okay,
I know
I downloaded it when it was Games with Gold
free.
free, but I haven't played it yet.
Well, I don't. I think it's co-op. We'll play that one.
The whole thing is co-op. That's why I actually waited. I've waited to play 3 because I know you can play the entire thing co-op, and it's like a lot more fun that way.
But I will say, like, I know 4 is like they all build on each other, and I know 4 is you're like a president and you fight aliens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't. They would almost have to do, if they're gonna do a 5, they'd almost. I don't have to say like start over.
If they did a remake, this is different than like HD remake. This is like a reboot. If they did a reboot of 1, how would you feel about that?
They would have to take it away from being so serious as it was the first time.
Yeah. I'm sure they would.
Yeah. So if they did a remake of 1 and they essentially changed the game where now it's like all the great things that they found out about Saints Row through 2, 3, 4.
Upgraded the mechanics.
Then I'd be okay with it, which again doesn't match probably all my other topics.
You can have your opinion based on the game itself.
Yeah.
You know,
if they were to just remake it and it's Saints Row 1 and it's like updated graphics but still like gritty and we want to be Grand Theft Auto, then I'd be like, you guys should. This is your weakest one in the series. This shouldn't be the one that you like go back to just to give us graphics.
Yeah.
What are you playing, Chris?
Well, I mean, I haven't been playing much because I've been working on the podcast.
Sure.
But I will say that episode 5 of season 2 of Walking Dead came out today. I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it.
Because we record these early.
Well, that's another thing, too, is that when I was talking about The Walking Dead season 2 last week, I should have said that I was only on episode 4, that 5 had not been released yet. So I hadn't finished the entire season. So I don't know. So far, I've heard good things. I wanted to play it early this morning or late last night because I was still up. But the stupid Telltale, they still have the thing. It's like if you've bought the season pass, it's so difficult to download games on time. Like
because you can't just go in there.
You'd have to work. Yeah, you'd have to wait like a day or two for them to figure it out, or they would they get charged twice. All these other things. So it's like because I bought the season pass, I've been punished again, and I had to wait I had to wait 5 or 6 hours before I could download it.
But you saved money. As opposed to me.
Yeah, I saved money. But because I waited so long to download it, I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I've heard good things. I heard the season finale of Season 2 Walking Dead is really good. So I'm going to play that later tonight, actually.
I think, at least from Walking Dead 1 and Wolf Among Us, I think it's safe to say that Telltale knows how to leave you wanting more.
Yeah. But I wonder if they are going to get away from the protagonist, if they're going to try to get to somebody else like they did
away from
between
Clementine?
1 and 2. I don't think she's going to
die.
I think that's not really a spoiler. I'm just saying that I don't think they're going to kill the main character.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I think it'd be smart for them to do a new protagonist. Just because, like you said, like 1 had 1, 2 had 1. Like, I think Wolf Among Us, I think Bigby can self-sustain for multiple iterations.
Yeah, because he's the main character of the comics and all that stuff. And it makes more sense because he's a detective and you're solving cases. And I want him to be the protagonist for all of them.
Yeah. And I can't say I haven't played as much Season 2 as you have for Walking Dead. But I loved Clementine.
Yeah.
But I thought she was a great support to Lee as opposed to if she can carry multiple seasons by herself.
I have no problem with her being the protagonist of this season.
Yeah, because you wanted it. Because the whole thing when you finished
it was a logical progression.
Should I do my spoiler sound?
That was Tool time. Yeah. Tim Allen.
The spoiler is Tim Allen.
Yeah.
The spoiler for 1 is obviously because Lee dies and Clementine is left alive, and then it ends, and the whole time like Caitlin was an emotional wreck. Where she just I need to know that she's okay kind of situation. So it makes sense for 2 to be she's okay.
That was your whole thing. You were protecting Clementine. You became him. You wanted to make sure she was safe. You were willing to sacrifice yourself if it came to that.
You've played 2, and depending on how the season finale really goes, do you want Clementine to be 3? Do you want her to be in 3?
Like I said, I already don't want her to be 3, unless if it makes sense. Unless if something happens in... Do you feel
like
any other character that's been introduced in Season 2 though can carry it? Like I don't know if they want to do
it. Just have to be a whole new one.
Won't.
It's the thing. Other than say do you feel the same need to protect her in 2?
Absolutely not. Like you're playing as Clementine in Season 2, so you're kind of yourself now. Like you make decisions differently. I was much more protective of her. I made a lot safer decisions. Like I said, I would sacrifice myself, but now it's like I've kind of made her more hardened and badass a little bit. She's still nice to everybody, but it's like she's seen a lot of shit.
A lot of shit, yeah. She's lived through the zombie apocalypse.
She's fine now. Like she's cool handling it on herself.
Yeah. So then, if she disappears, you're not in episode or in Season 3. You're not going to be you just be oh, I wonder what happened to her. You're not going to be I hope I see her soon.
Yeah, I think she'll be fine on her own. That's the thing. Like she's proven it. Yeah. I've proven it by playing as her.
And I think
she'll be fine on her own.
Yeah, you play through whole season 2. I do kind of want to know
where she'll end up, just based on anybody in the zombie apocalypse. You kind of want to know where they go or what they do.
Yeah.
But if they switch protagonist, I'm saying I'm fine with the idea.
Yeah, and they can just put her in as a little she comes in one of the episodes,
right?
Passing through, gives you some food. Whatever, and then goes on.
Super excited about that. And what if she was 5 or 10 years older too? That'd be what?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I think that'd be a good idea. Or they really wanted to go crazy, and I don't have any insight, so this is not a spoiler. Okay. But if you did Season 3 and you start off as Clementine, and then something bad happens to Clementine, and then in the midst of Season 3 your focal point changes, I think that'd be a cool idea too. If you switch
protagonists within the game.
Yeah. Well, not I'm saying let's say season 3 episode 1. It's your Clementine, and the end of that one...
She dies.
She dies, a zombie grabs her, she goes, somebody captures her because she's a kid, and then episodes 2 through 5... Is somebody finding her? I think that'd be then now you have a new protagonist, it can kind of build up its own character... Right. Or her character.
I understand what you're saying, and I think that is a good way to sort of freshen it up and stuff and get different perspectives.
Yeah.
But their whole thing is making decisions, so I think they really want you to stay as one person. I like your idea, and I think that would work, but I don't think they're going to do it.
No, I don't think so. either.
Yeah.
But that's the cat's pajamas.
Where was it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. That's
the cat's pajamas.
There was another
word because there was another S.
Yeah.
God damn it! I can't remember
So we can't even get our
fancy
sign
sign-off.
So we're about an hour.
Yeah.
If you want to start wrapping it up, do you have anything else to add, to say?
No. I will say this. I want to kind of start doing this. I want to, for future episodes, I know you have already stated that you are not good at making lists.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying like what's my favorite anything, what's my whatever. Like I don't generally do that. There's certainly things I like, so I can just say in no particular order.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I want to start doing is, assuming we have any listeners out there,
right?
I want to start doing a Twitter question or an email question, depending on how much people have to say about it, where we kind of answer it next episode, and we go, this would be great.
If anybody ever responds in the comments of the website that this isn't fun anymore podcast.com, or if you send us a tweet at notfunpodcast, we will respond to it. It doesn't have to be like, I wanted this to be questioned next week. Like anytime you guys respond to us, if you want us to respond, we will on the episode.
Yeah. Me and Chris both monitor, both access. We don't have separate login, so if one of us at Not Fun Podcast tweets back to you, you won't know if it's essentially it'll be a secret. I guess we could
or we could say
just like Phil says, and of course I would always preface anything I say with Phil says.
Yeah.
But here,
now I know you're tricking. I'll do it too.
Yeah, damn it.
I will say though, about the time when this comes out, if this comes out when I think it's going to on a Monday, tomorrow is when Destiny comes out. And I'm going to be doing a live Twitch stream of it just while I'm playing. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, go to twitch.tv/thisisn'tfunanymore. If you forget what it is, all the contact information is also on our website, which is thisisn'tfunanymorepodcast.com. Or you can just add us, for Twitter, and we will tell you what it is. You can just ask us questions that way. There's also a contact page on the website, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You guys are all expert listeners by now.
And
you
once
should
again,
know how this stuff is.
Please subscribe if you're listening to this on iTunes.
Yeah, that helps us get... that helps us, A, track that there's people listening to us, and B, kind of boosts us up on the page. So if people actually like us, then other people can follow us, and then we can get a nice big group community listen.
And also it boosts our self-esteem and our self-worth.
Well, nothing will boost mine.
Okay.
But yeah, that is all for this episode.
That's cat's pajamas.
We gotta figure out what that is.
Yeah.
So we can do it.
If only there was some way.
If only there's some way we could go back. If only there's some website that had our old podcasts.
Yeah.
We could listen to this.
Are you talking about iTunes or thisisn'tfunanymorepodcast.com?
Oh my god, I didn't know that there were two of them. Whatever. Okay.
Something about bee's knees.
Yep. Alright guys, thanks for listening. And don't buy that Halo bundle.
Oh god, I'm gonna cut that out. I'm cutting that out.